How much time till we're on?
We're on, Ron.
What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready.
You, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Welcome back to Blues News, man. I'm your homie, the OG Bluminati, man. We pulling culture in all directions tonight, man. We got that sci-fi streaming, you know what I'm saying? Curses, sitcoms. You don't want to miss this one, man. You don't want to miss this one. Tonight, we're gonna be talking about Ari Lennox. You know what I'm saying? She called out Martin's jokes about Pam on the legendary TV show Martin from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a little discussion about that. We're gonna talk about Alien Earth and the reviews has been coming out. Pretty decent, pretty good. Then we're gonna take a deep dive, deep. You know how I get down, man. Disney Plus, is there a curse with Disney Plus? Is it killing Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars? Has it killed it? At Disney Plus, that streaming service, man. So hopefully you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you're ready. Let's get into it. Topic number one, man. I'm gonna start with the sci-fi joint. I'm gonna start sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start sci-fi. Let's get into this Alien Earth review. I'm a big, huge Alien fan, Predator fan, all of it, man, all of it. So this is near and dear to me. I really rocks with Alien. I like what they're doing, especially with what they're doing. I like the Prometheus joint, right? I like all that because there was a lot of lore involved with Prometheus. I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping. Hold on. But it was a lot of lore involved with Prometheus. So I really rock with Prometheus. So I like the whole reboot and everything that they're doing with Alien right now. I don't know if they're gonna incorporate any of that Prometheus uh stuff into what they got going on with Alien Earth and how they deal with the last movie that just came out. But let's get into this article, man. Alien Earth review. FX's sci-fi prequel, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of dope that it's on FX too. I think that's kind of dope. Share this screen for y'all real quick. No, that's right. It says Alien Earth review. FX's sci-fi prequel is an intriguingly ambitious. Look, I can't even read today. Eventually thrilling journey into the semi-known. And this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. It's written by Angie Hahn. It says Timothy Olyphant and Sydney Chandler, starring the Noah Hawley created series, which begins with the spaceship crash landing on our planet and introducing an array of deadly extraterrestrial creatures. Now, even them saying that, starting off, if y'all just remember what we got in this last Alien movie, which was a prequel. Was it a prequel? No, it was. I'm sorry, it was not a prequel. It was a bridge between Alien and Aliens, from what I understand. That was dope. Then we go into what we're getting with Killers of Killers and what we're about to get into Predators Badlands. All of this mixing up with Aliens and Predators. I'm with it, man. I'm 1000% with it. In its first very few moments, FX's Alien Earth feels like nothing so much as well alien, they say. Here, we are once more aboard the Weyland Yutani. You know, if Weyland Yutani isn't involved, if they are involved, you know some shenanigans is happening, bro. You know some shenanigans is happening. Already know. It says here we are once more aboard the Weyland Yutani spaceship, the USCSS Maginot, this time watching the Rumple crew emerge from the cryogenic hibernation. Here they go now, gathering around the canteen, trading jokes and complaints. And here again is a crew member examining way too closely the creepy crawlies they have encountered on their travel. So it seems like this ship went off collecting alien specimens of some kind. And you know that's going to make for some crazy shenanigans here on Earth, man. If imagine going off to these crazy planets and bringing these alien animals from these other planets, man, and introducing them here on Earth. We already can't survive in the jungle as is. You want to go and get these crazy, dangerous animals and bring them on Earth? Come on, man. Recipe for disaster. We already know that's a recipe for disaster. So you can fill in the rest from there, and indeed, Earth trusts you to do that. Initially offering only brief jarring teasers of the crew's expectedly gruesome fates, but in the prologue confirms the creator Noah Hawley faithfully replicate the superficial trappings of this franchise. What comes next suggests he gets something off its spirit too, because Earth, as it turns out, is mostly not about rehashing Alien at all. Instead, like all the series' most interesting follow-ups, it treats the familiar template less as the formula than the launchpad for its own ambitions. In this case, a heady, sprawling, occasionally unwelding, but eventually thrilling epic about personhood, hubris, and of course, the primal pleasure of watching people get absolutely rocked by space monsters. Now, from my understanding, we're going to have a lot of, I want to call it like the human evolution going forward. So where we'll have humans, we'll have cyborgs, we'll have synthetics, and then we'll have actual androids in this. So that's like four bastions of humanity. And the reason I say that is because we have humans, right? Cyborgs, which is uh a hybrid of human with robotic technology. Then you have synthezoid synthetics, and then you have androids. Androids and synthetics. Synthetics are more meant to be human for facing, human looking. Androids not so much, from what I recall. So the android to me would be, well, I guess they would be human looking too. But basically, the technology has gotten better, from my understanding. Um, so they go into it in this article. I don't want to give, because this article kind of gives a little bit um, of what's going on. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Um, Let me see if I can find in this article. Start right here. It says most of this is laid out in the thrilling overstuffed premiere, written and directed by Haley. It takes at least two more episodes to bring the various supporting characters into focus and see the season's smaller subplots. It is not until the fourth or fifth out of an eight-part season that the series reaches the turning point for setting things up to paying them off. But Earth is never dull, even at its most expositional, stomach-churning violence and queasy conversation is scattered throughout regularly enough to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The production design by Andy Nicholson, pretty much perfectly cold, looks real enough to touch and expansive enough to explore. A sardonic rock playlist, Black Sabbath, Tool, Pearl Jam sends each chapter off under a dark spell. I think that's kind of dope. I think a lot of these shows don't lean into soundtracks enough. A lot of these shows need to lean into soundtracks. It will make for a broader, more expansive, you know what I'm saying, more expansive the word I'm trying to say. You being engulfed in it, you liking it. That's how I feel. Xenomorphs in their various forms show up early and semi-often, along with several new beasts with their own deliciously horrible ways of killing. So we're going to get more than just xenomorphs in this. I think that's cool. They say my favorite is an impish octopus-like critter with an eyeball for an head. I will not spoil it. It's sickening signature move. Novel graduations on the man machine scale. I guess this is what they're talking about. In addition to classic synthetics like Kirsch and cutting edge hybrids like Wendy, we also encourage encounter a cyborg with a human body but enhanced parts to add a slight twist to the usual philosophical quandaries about intelligence, emotion, and what counts as human. So that's like I said, we'll have different levels of humanity in this, or the evolution of what humans can be, and how we're. Because I think ultimately this whole thing, if y'all know anything about aliens or Alien and how they kind of wrapped everything up, Wayland, his whole thing is immortality. So in order to get immortality is taking our consciousness, putting into robotics, or uh enhancing our bodies with robotics, android synthetics, things of that nature. So I think that's basically the premise of this show right here. And I think, like I said, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm into aliens. I think this gonna be good. You know, I y'all let me know what y'all think. It's coming. When does this come out? This comes out. come out- Oh, don't tell us. Don't tell us when. I want to say it's this month though. Oh wow. Don't tell us when it comes out. I want to say it's this month sometime. So be on the lookout for that. If I want to say probably around next week or something like that. So be on the lookout for that, man. Alien Earth, uh, is being praised. A lot of people are praising it. Dystopian spinoff of of the Alien universe. Hey, are y'all here for it? Are y'all here for this new alien lore? Alien Earth, or are y'all still waiting on Ripley to come back? Are y'all still waiting on Ripley to come back? Okay, the 12th. The 12th. So that'll be next week. Next week. Next week. Next week. Next week. All right. Yeah, check it out, man. I think it's gonna be good. Please, please do. Please do. Please do. Next up on the MIC. What do I got for y'all next up, man? Next up. Let's talk let's get into Ari Lennox, man. Let's get into Ari Lennox. Because this kind of this is getting to Ari Lennox. This kind of didn't feel right for me, man. Ari Lennox, Ari kind of let me down. You know what I'm saying? Ari let me down with this. I don't the attack. And it's like these new well, she ain't even new. Ari Lennox ain't even new. I want to say she new. She's not new. She's not that young. Like I need to see how old she is. I need to see how old she is. I gotta see how old she is because that don't make sense to me, man. What she all her carrying on don't make sense whatsoever. Very much so wild. Ari Lennox says the jokes about Pam's looks on Martin, especially her dark skin, still bother her despite loving. So she says she loves the show overall, but she brought up these jokes, and I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, it's just let me know. It's like, did you watch the show or not, Ari? Did you watch the show or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you watch the show, you know Pam and Martin, they might have, I mean, other than Pam being with Gina, Pam and Martin might have been the close, you know what I'm saying? Really, really close. They was like that with each other. And she gave it back to him. If he came with a joke to her, you know what? It's a video. I'm gonna find it. See if I could find these. Because it was a video I watched where it was like the very best jokes between Martin and Pam. You know what I'm saying? So um where we at? Let's pull this up, man. Let's pull this up. So this comes from Complex. This is written by Bernadette Gigamagzo. I hope I said that right. I hope I said that right, y'all. Please don't get on me if I didn't say it right. But like I said, Ari Lennox's classic Martin jokes bother her. She draws the line. Ari Lennox is not a fan of a lot of jokes from these classic sitcom Martin because there are too many jokes at Pam's expense. Her even saying that it's too many jokes at Pam's expense lets me know you did not watch the show, Ari. Martin joked on everybody equally got it. Now it became a more of a thing between Pam and Martin because if you watch the first episode, you know, it was Pam and that's Gina's best friend. So of course they got to go at it because they got to. it's got to be some type of opposition in there, right? So Pam being the best friend is the opposition. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? If you got your homegirl, me and your homegirl probably gonna be going back and forth. Sooner or later, we're gonna develop a relationship to where it's a loving relationship, and we express our love through jokes, through roasting each other. That's how we expressing our love. Hey, your homegirl cool. That's how you know your homegirl cool. We can go back and forth with the jokes. Wasn't nobody swinging, wasn't nobody mad, wasn't nobody getting upset. There was, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect. These just jokes because we friends like that. So Ari Lennox is speaking up about how certain jokes on the 90s sitcom Martin landed for her, specifically the constant digs at Pam. In the recent radio interview with Rain the Plug posted on Tuesday, Lennox said the thing that pissed me off about Martin was how much he was going in on Pam. See if we can play this.
The thing that pissed me off about Martin was how much he would go on Pam. Like I know, like and this is coming from a girl who I love me a good like joking ass movie, and it even when the joking movie is like, damn, like that was fucked up. Like, I'm not like too woke or something is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm honestly not I'm problematic. I'm pretty problematic, low key. But
Problematic
like,
indeed.
but my point is that there are some things where I draw the line and it just bothered me. Or like, I don't know, it's like Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine. And I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, like I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of the light that I feel like I was being fed. You know what I'm saying? Like of just like always going on Pam, always like that's all I remember. And I didn't like that. But like, so I feel conflicted because while I
All
feel
she
like the
remembered.
show is incredible and I feel like Martin is a legendary show and all of the actors and Tommy and like everybody, like legendary, amazing. Like I adore them all. Like you have no idea. And I adore Martin. Like I adore him. It just would piss me off. Like the joking on Pam. I just didn't like that, like I'll always kind of feel a way about that. Like
She act like I don't recall Martin joking on Pam about her looks. He joked about, the BDB stuff but not her looks. He didn't joke on her being dark skinned, right? He didn't joke on her being dark skinned. But notice one thing, it's like she wanted to be triggered by something. And when people go into something looking for hate or looking for to be triggered, you're going to find it. It's easy to find something to be mad at, right? Even where there ain't nothing there to be mad at about. Martin joked on Cole for being stupid. He joked on Tommy for not having a job. Joked on Tommy's head for being bald. Joked on Gina's head for being too big, right? Joked on Gina's booty, right? Joked on Pam. Pam joked on Martin. Pam joked on Tommy. Pam joked on Cole. They all joked on Cole. Everybody got it equally. Everybody got it equally. And they wasn't even disrespectful jokes. They were jokes that if you grew up black in America, these is jokes that went around. Yes. Now I know all of a sudden now nappy is, calling somebody nappy, that hurts people's feelings. Oh, you can't say that. I know. I hate that they always try to take a movie or a show that was done in a specific era and try to bring that forward. You can't do that. You can't. That's like trying to bring a movie that's got bad technology, or let me not, the technology of its time, trying to bring it forward and then be like, I don't like I don't like the CGI in it. Well, the CGI wasn't even done. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that back then. You can't bring something from the past and try to bring it forward and judge it with today's eyes. If you wasn't there, you wasn't there. If you was not there, you was not there. And Ari Lennox, you are too old. Like you 34, so you should have some of this in you. You should have some. That means Martin came out. I think Martin started in 92, right? It didn't go off. I think it went off in 95, 96, something like that, which would have made you around 4 or 5. So as you're growing up, you're seeing the reruns. Martin didn't stop playing. It was still on. So it's not like it, unless you just watched it today or this year. You a 90s baby. And you an early 90s baby too. Which means you got some of that old age, that old school upbringing. It should have been in you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you was what you know what I'm saying, was sheltered from it up until today. Maybe you were sheltered from it up until today. But that's crazy. This is crazy. That's nuts. She added there some things where I draw the line. Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine. Nobody said she wasn't. I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, I don't even know I was able to understand the greatness of I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of what I was being fed. What were you being fed? That don't even make sense. I couldn't appreciate Pam because of what were you being fed? Pam's character she was not the main character. The show was called Martin, so I wondered, what were you being fed, baby girl? And I like Ari, but sometimes she get on the internet and just be like, what are you talking about, girl? You just want to be hurt. You just want to be offended by something. Like what? Who wakes up and say, I want to be offended? Not this guy. Pamela James, played by Tachina Arnold, was a core character on Martin from 92 to 90. So it ran to 97. So that's even worse. It was still on. When she got a little bit of age, she was born in 91. And so she would have been 6. I don't know if she would have been watching it at 6. But like I said, the rerun, by the time she hit 13, she should have been grown up in that era. So Arnold previously reflected on the show's impact and on-set energy, sharing back in 2022 that the cast had fun literally every day. That early in the run, we used to have to push Martin on his mark because he wasn't used to working in front of the camera. So they even helped Martin become the star that he is because he was just a stand-up comedian. He wasn't used to being in front of the camera. She also said Pam was originally written for a heavyset girl. I remember she said that a while back. But once she booked the role, the writers incorporated her quick wit. Once I got the role, she said, they didn't realize that I knew how to crack jokes too. All the things that happened off camera that started just putting them in the script. So not only that, they tailored the script for Tachina Arnold. All of that banter, that witty banter back and forth, that was because of Martin's and Tachina's Arnold actual chemistry. The actual chemistry. Addressing longtime viewer conversations about colorism tied to Pam being the target of jokes, Arnold said the back and forth with Martin wasn't malicious. Martin cracking on Pam did not come from a mean place. Our relationship and our dynamic was really built upon me being the best friend, like I just said. It had nothing to do with color. This is coming from Tachina Arnold as Pam. Had nothing to do with color. It was derived from that all because that's not how Martin is. Lennox goes on to say she still enjoys the series, but the recurring jokes about Pam stood out to her. So the jokes about Martin being short didn't stand out? The jokes about joking on Tommy not having a job didn't stand out? or the jokes about Cole, those are the jokes that really should stand out. Calling Cole stupid. Those aren't standout jokes. Those are jokes that are really demeaning. You talking about somebody who was demeaned on the show. Cole was demeaned on the show. But you talking about Pam, who joked back and forth with Martin, who probably gave just as good, if not better than Martin. I'm gonna run some of these. Can I share this? Let me run some of these jokes, man.
Oh.
Look, Gina, it's a munchkin trick-or-treater.
Soon as the scene start, she joking on how short this man is. Oh, but what really stood out to me is how Martin.
Come on. Oh, girl, good disguise. I didn't recognize you. You look like a human being. Go on.
Yeah, you look like a normal size adult. Whose shoulders you standing on?
All right, now look, check it out. Gotta get down to bed.
Short jokes. So, but she don't worry about the short jokes. Whatever, man. Whatever. Salute to Ari Lennox. Ari, I sit down and watch the show. Sit down and watch the show, because I don't know what you talking about, man. I do not know what you're talking about. Sit down, watch the show, because it's a funny show. It's a great show. It's a show. This show is a show about family. It ain't the Huxtables, no, but this show is about family and friendship. And when you have family and friendship and you tighten it the way you are, or the way that they were on that show, you can joke like that. You can talk like that to your buddy, to your friends, to your pal, to your homegirls, to your homeboy. And wasn't nothing. He used to kick them out the house. Wasn't that malicious? They show back up the next day because they cool like that. They all had each other's back. And yep, Pam was gonna get a spinoff because she became big. She was, yes, it was, it was Martin and Gina, yada. But Pam she was a standout in this because of the back and forth with Martin. A lot of the jokes, a lot of the funny bits was between Martin and Pam. So I can't rock with what Ari's saying. Ari, go watch it, please, girl. Sit down, watch the show. Actually take it in. This show is funny. And you can learn from it. I just don't understand what you're talking about. You really, I don't know. I got a question though for y'all. I always got a question. Should classic sitcoms be reevaluated through today's lens? Because that's what Ari did. Should today's sitcoms be reevaluated through today's lens, or should we keep them in the vault? Because they're not appreciated. She's showing me that they're not being appreciated. She's showing me they're not being appreciated. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Now, let's get into probably what everybody showed up for. Everybody love when I go on my Marvel tirades, my Disney tirades, right? What everybody showed up for. This Disney Plus curse, man. This Disney Plus curse. Man, it's like, I swear everything that I said years back, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, when it came to this streaming stuff, is coming full circle. Full circle. Feel like a damn prophet. Bloomadamus. Bluestradamus. That's what it is. Bluestradamus. I feel like Bluestradamus out here, man. Disney Plus wreck Marvel and its cultural and its other brands? I'm gonna ask y'all that. That's what I want to ask y'all. Did you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna read the article. You know, we got to read the article. Got to read the article. Let me pull it up. Disney Plus was a no-go from the jump. It was something that I just knew just wouldn't work. I knew it. All of these streaming services, I knew one wouldn't work the way that they expected it to work because they were getting away from terrestrial TV, and a lot of them didn't have ads at the time. If we just talking about the money aspect of things, right? Being profitable. Everybody chasing that Netflix bag. But y'all, to me, they wasn't ready yet. They jumped into a sector way too early, whether it was Disney Plus, HBO. HBO had 5 different streaming services at one time. Paramount. Y'all should have just stuck to doing on-demand situations. Amazon Prime don't even really count because you're not paying for Prime or Amazon Prime. You're paying for Amazon Prime, but you're not paying for Amazon TV. I think that's what it's called, Prime TV. That's just like an extra bonus. Everybody else is just playing second fiddle to Netflix, man. Let's get into this. I don't even know why I don't even start off like that. So the Disney Plus curse, how the streaming service hurt Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar brands. Marvel and Star Wars shows has been seen declining streams while MCU and Pixar movies are feeling the box office hurt. This is from Drew Taylor of The Wrap. Says it was meant to be a cozy celebratory get-together with journalists gathering at Marvel Studios office in the Frank G. Wells building at Disney's Burbank headquarters. Now, at the event held in July, Kevin Feige, producer and president of Marvel Studios, was supposed to prime the pump for Marvel's next big bet, the Fantastic Four First Steps. But Feige wound up talking about something that his superheroes avoid at all costs: failure. Now, remember, I said that they have conceded. Marvel, Kevin Feige have conceded. They have failed. I used to get slack a lot about, oh, Marvel ain't failed. Marvel ain't failing. Well, I tell you this, Kevin Feige damn so think it's failing. They big boss think it's failing. The producer explained that the period after 2019's Avengers Endgame, which capped off a period of the movies known as the Infinity Saga and wound up being one of the most successful movies of all time, was about experimentation. But the demands of Disney Plus, Disney's direct-to-consumer streaming platform that launched in November 2019, was also about expansion. They wanted to expand, y'all. And I don't blame them. Right? I don't blame them for wanting to expand. Of course. How can we scale up our business? Especially during COVID. This all makes sense during COVID, right? During COVID, this should make sense. People gonna be in the house anyway. Now was the prime time to hit them with Disney Plus. Feige specifically pointed to the Marvels, the sequel to 2019's $1 billion grossing Captain Marvel, which brought in $206 billion globally as the movie that was hit hardest by the new emphasis on Disney Plus and the inclusion of characters from Marvel shows. And he's right and wrong about that. It was hit the hardest, but it was hit the hardest because y'all didn't put the care into presenting this movie to the fans. Now, y'all wanted to just say we throw this out in the movies and it'll end up on Disney Plus and people gonna show up on Disney Plus, but y'all not even bridging movie to Disney Plus correctly to get the best run in the middle. Theater to Disney Plus, there should be some other steps involved to keep it alive. But y'all don't even do that. People are like, okay, I recognize her from a $1 billion movie, but who are those other two? I guess they were in some TV show. I'll skip it. Feige said of the story that paired Brie Larson with Marvel TV stars Tiana Paris and Iman Vellani. Now, that's funny because when those shows dropped, everybody was saying, "Oh, they hit the net." WandaVision did good, correct? Everybody viewed WandaVision. Miss Marvel, people watch Miss Marvel, right? That's the lie that they was telling us. Now Feige got to walk those lies back. Feige got to now walk those lies back because nobody was watching Disney Plus. Nobody was watching Disney Plus. And if they were, they wasn't showing up for the Marvel stuff. Feige is now conceding that they failed and have been failing like I've been saying. Oh, Marvel didn't fall off. Yes, the hell they did. They fell off. And now he's trying to blame it on Tiana Paris and Iman Vellani. It ain't their fault. Look, people who went to the Superman movie just this month saw Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific. They didn't know who they was. That didn't stop Superman from being a great film. That didn't stop people from repeat viewing. No, James Gunn made sure that you are going to feel who Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific are. I'm going to treat and handle them with care so the audience connects with these people. Did the audience connect with Photon, aka Tiana Paris's character? Probably not. Did they connect with Iman Vellani, who is a star? I think she's a star and should be a star. Did they connect? No, they did not. They did not. They did not. Let's continue. Later, Feige got more blunt. He said the expansion is what devalued the Marvel brand. See, I told you they conceding. He conceded. I love that he's saying that. Devalued the Marvel brand. It was just too much. It was a big company push, and it doesn't take too much to push us to go. There was a mandate that we were put in the middle of. So he's just throwing everybody underneath. He's throwing everybody at the bus, underneath the bus. It was a mandate. It's a mandate. Feige's admission that Disney Plus, with its countless streaming series, animated shows, and special presentations, had actively damaged the Marvel Studios brand and is startling, but also unsurprising. From the jump, I could have told y'all wasn't going to be, because Netflix, you can't even really get off on Netflix that way. Not when you just built this $1 billion franchise of Marvel. Why would you want to replicate what Netflix is doing? Why would you want? Netflix is for when I'm bored at home and I just want to watch something. That's what Netflix is. That's how Netflix has, you know what I'm saying? Their claim to fame now is just let me browse Netflix. Let me scroll through Netflix and chill. Remember the Netflix and chill era? I can just throw it on, and that's how Netflix gets its number. People go to sleep to Netflix. Let me bring my girl over. sit down. Hey, girl, what you want to watch? By the time the end of the first act, we not watching it no more. You know what I'm saying? Disney Plus, what is the draw for Disney Plus? Even right now, if you're not a hardcore comic book movie fan, what is the draw? What's getting regular everyday Joes over there to Disney Plus to watch these big Y'all got huge properties over there. Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar, 20th Century. Y'all got these huge brands that ain't nobody running to. Let's continue. Since nearly every one of Disney's core brands, in addition to Marvel Studios, Pixar, and Lucasfilm, have been diminished by the company's direct-to-consumer streaming platform and the platform's insatiable thirst for fresh content. I want to know who the bean counters were up in these offices who thought that a streaming service would make money the way hard copies would make money. I want to know who that person was, because it didn't start at Disney. Remember, all of these other brands, all these other companies got streaming services too, which are failing, ain't putting out the output that they should be. Let me not say the output, not in the black the way they should be in the black. Did they even look at Netflix and see what they had going on over there? Had they ever heard of churn? To me, the industry, if I'm them, instead of making a because this is what they did. They killed and I want to know the revenue. Let me see. I want to know the revenue between cable and streaming. See if I could find that, because to me, it just don't. I would have went all in on making cable a better service for the consumer. How can I get with these cable networks or these cable providers for my streaming service, for my own channel? And I just would have hit the cable provider over the head to even carry my channel, not house my own. See, that's the thing too. Now you're housing it. You're putting all the money up for something that probably is going to fail. Y'all, was cable dead in 2019? I don't believe so. Was it on the downswing? Yes, maybe. I don't know. I think these networks could have revitalized cable. They could have came up with a whole new plan how to prepackage these things a la carte. Do some more a la carte or start slicing down. The thing about cable is a lot of people just didn't want a lot of the fluff channel. A lot of people didn't want the fluff channel. Basic should have been basic. ESPN, USA, TNT. Those are your three basic cable networks. Then you go on and say, okay, I want a Disney Plus. Can I add Netflix to my cable? Can I add yada, yada, yada? Who ain't got, you know what I'm saying? I do that. And I say, I partner up with the cable provider, which is it's crazy because that's what they're doing now. Now they're partnering up with cable providers. This should have been something from the jump. They shouldn't have. instead of annexing out the cable provider or going around the cable provider, they should have been in business with the cable provider from the jump. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. Let me see something. Let me see if this will answer my question. Because I want to know the average cable, how much money, average money cable brings in, and how much money streaming brings in on average. Because I could be wrong. I could be totally thinking about this backwards. Let's see what they say. Let's see what they say. It says cable TV dominance at its peak in 2017. U.S. cable pay TV revenue reached 100 billion, with advertising revenue peaking too. In 2022, traditional pay TV providers made 92.42 billion, down from 93.5 in 2021. Between 2020 and 2025, cable lost about $10 billion, totally approximately 17 billion lost over the preceding decade. Streaming's rapid rise. They say by 2025, the global video streaming market was valued at 670 billion, with projections to hit 2.49 trillion by 2032. That's the value. I guess that's the value of the. I want to know how much money was made, because it seemed like they all failing. So I want to, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like all these streaming networks are failing. In the United States, streaming usage climbed to a record 44.8% of all TV consumption in May 2025, surpassing combined cable and broadcast for the first time. Streaming services usage grew 71% since May 2021, while cable viewership declined 39% over the same time. So I guess this is saying that streaming is lucrative. But I want to know how much are they putting into streaming? You know what I'm saying? Right. YouTube is getting the most views. This is profitability and financial trends. Cable decline. Major media companies like Warner Brothers, Paramount, AMC Networks wrote down a combined 15 billion in cable network value, reflecting the collapse in valuations and profitability in legacy cable business. S&P estimates of 2020 cable station revenue showed a continued decline, with total TV station revenue, including retransmission fees, dropping nearly 7% year over year. Cord cutting remains severe. Pay TV subscriptions plunged 30% since the peak, and millions more continue to cut service each quarter. Streaming's growth and nascent profits in Q1 and Q2 of 2024, streaming units across Disney, Netflix, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Discovery combined for 3.3 billion in profit, though still nascent relative to total revenue. I don't know what that means. As of Q2 2025, Paramount's streaming business brought in 2.2 billion in revenue, while its traditional TV revenues dropped by 6% to 4. So hold on, wait. Y'all heard that? Okay, I think I got my answer. Q2, Paramount's streaming business brought in 2.2 billion in revenue, right? While its traditional TV revenues dropped 6% to bring in 4. So it's dropped. They still made more money in traditional TV than in streaming. Warner Brothers Discovery similarly reported streaming revenue of 2.6 billion and operating income rising from 86 million to 333 million, while its cable network revenue fell to 7% to 4.2. So you're making, okay, cool. I think I got my answer. I'm gonna go read one more thing. It says, so who historically made more money? Until the mid 2010s, cable TV clearly generated far more revenue and profit, and it had large subscriber bases, bundle packages, and stable ad and affiliate income streams. Since around 2020, streaming revenues have grown explosively and eventually surpassed cable broadcast in viewership, and economic importance. Meanwhile, the cable revenues and asset valuations have declined sharply. In short, historically, cable dominated economically, but in recent years, especially 23 to 25, streaming is rapidly surpassing cable in usage and financial viability. But from my understanding, it seems like traditional TV is still making more money than streaming. Am I chat? Let me know if I'm wrong or right. 4 billion to 2 billion seems like more money. Now I'm on the decline on the TV side, but I'm only on the decline on the TV side because I have a streaming service. Now, if I didn't have a streaming service, this is where I'm looking at it. The catalyst of the decline to me is the streaming service. Like, if Netflix was the only player in town, I don't think cable dies like that. I think Netflix says, hey, how can I get more subscriber base? And they go and run to the cable networks and say, hey, add Netflix as a package, right? Add Netflix to the package of cable. And I know I'm off on a tangent from what I'm talking about with Disney Plus, but I think the same applies to if Warner Brothers and Paramount are saying, hey, we made 2.2 billion in revenue with streaming, but we made 4 in the 4 billions with traditional TV. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why would I not want to add to the 4 billion instead of take away from it? And is my math off? Is my thought process wrong? Y'all let me know. Why would I want to destroy this when this is 2.2? Why would I want to do that? Let's get back into this article. Because Feige done already conceded saying that Disney Plus is the reason why they not making what they doing. So over the last 5 years, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Plus shows, with some exceptions, have seen declining streaming minutes as each subsequent series debuts, with Star Wars peaking with the second season of The Mandalorian in 2021 through Skeleton Crew in 2024, which failed to even make the weekly top 10 for Nielsen. Can't even make the top 10. Here's the Star Wars Disney Plus viewership. So season 2 of The Mandalorian went well over 1 billion minutes viewed. The Book of Boba Fett didn't crack 1 billion. Obi-Wan didn't crack. It went over 500 million, but it didn't. So this is probably around 850. Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett probably around 850. Andor probably around 700 even. Ahsoka 6. Acolyte 350, 375. Season 2 of Andor almost got to 1 billion. Streaming ain't working. It ain't working. So there were ripple effects at the box office. With Marvel's Captain America: Brave New World was brought in 415 million globally, and the Thunderbolts did 382 million. Both disappointments compared to the previous franchises when factoring in the respective budgets. Both cost around 200 million to produce. And just this past weekend, Fantastic Four dropped a huge 66% from its 118 million opening weekend. Dashing hopes that this film would get Marvel back on track at the box office. On the Pixar front, Elio has been a catastrophe, bringing in 138.6 so far at the global box office, making it the worst performing Pixar film in history, ranking even below Onward, a movie that opened right before the pandemic lockdown began. It's impossible to compare what those box office results might have been in the absence of Disney Plus. True that. Or how other factors like audiences getting accustomed to staying at home during the pandemic might have impacted the desire to go to theaters to see these movies. But overall, the Wrap spoke to a half dozen executives and experts who agreed that the imperative to drive content to Disney's streaming service. This for you, Kevin. This ain't me. I see you in the chat. This is for you. The Wrap spoke to a half a dozen executives and experts who agreed that the imperative to drive content to Disney's streaming service hurt the company's most cherished brands. Given the quality of Marvel, Disney Plus output have been incredibly mediocre. It's dragged an entire brand down and diluted its creative, said a producer with franchise experience. People don't care now, right? Even this passage right here, this for you again, Kevin. There were ripple effects at the box office. This whole passage right here. Whole passage. Read it. Can you read it? Whole passage. Said these once beloved properties are landed with a meh for audience now, suggests that there's potential long-term cost to the strategy of driving a fire hose of content to retain Disney Plus subscribers. It's one of the key lessons that the media companies have learned from the decision to follow Netflix into streaming. What did I just say? Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? That they trying to follow Netflix? With these brands particularly noteworthy casualties. As Disney Plus shows have landed with sequentially less and less buzz, subscribers are starting to see the service as less of a must-have. In the first quarter, Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers, the first time it saw a decline, although it was partially attributed to price hikes, and they also raising the price on us for mediocre stuff. Disney reports its second quarter results this week so far, so we'll see if that's one-off or a start of a trend. Disney's brand has also taken a hit, according to Brand Finance, which tracks the brand value of top global companies. The value of Disney's name fell 5.6% to $46.72 billion from a year earlier. A Disney spokesman declined to comment for the story. Now they're going to Bob Iger's legacy. 2019, we know Bob Iger, who was the CEO, both in the precipice of launching Disney Plus and planning to retire. He positioned the new streaming platform as a key part of his legacy, the thing that will carry the company through its next era and reposition the company not only as an entertainment juggernaut, but also as a tech giant. Remember, all of these, and that's another thing too, all of these companies went from being entertainment based to being tech based. Tech now runs things. Instead of being a creative, they are now looking at how can I get my hands on software and hardware to push a product, not to make a product. Like, they ain't worried about making a product. They worry about the technology that pushes the product. But you're an entertainment company, though. You're not a tech company. But now they're positioning them. Spotify is a tech company. Disney is now a tech company. Warner Brothers, tech company. All of these companies that were once just entertainment companies have now transitioned themselves over to be tech companies. They have to. If you have a streaming service, you are now a tech company. Says that the decision to disrupt businesses that are fundamentally working, but whose future is in question. The decision to disrupt businesses that are fundamentally working. I want y'all to hear what they're saying. To disrupt businesses that are working. Cable was working for them, but they wanted to disrupt it anyway. Intensely taking on short-term losses in the hopes of generating long-term growth. What does sound like? I mean, in business, you do got to take chances. Requires no small amount of courage, Iger wrote in his book, The Ride of a Lifetime. The service launched November 12, 2019, with a ton of Disney catalog titles and a handful of new ones. The new shows and movies had all ties to legacy Disney hits, including Lady and the Tramp. Well, I forgot about Lady and the Tramp. Y'all remember Lady and the Tramp? Y'all probably don't even remember. Pandemic time, they just threw something at us, right? Lady and the Tramp, Toy Story, but the headliner was The Mandalorian, which was the first ever live action Star Wars series. Every lever was pulled to help support the launch of this new initiative. There were activations in the Disney parks, an elaborate press junket with journalists, bought from room to room, interviewing talent, which shows debuting with the service, countless articles written about the platform, At the time of launch, the New York Times said that Disney Plus is industry's equivalent of Thor slamming down his magic hammer, a quake that changes everything forever. People even writing like this was going to be it's like nobody thought that this would fail. Nobody thought that this would fail. I don't know why they didn't think that this would fail. And while the service started strong, it really took off during lockdown. Of course, it took off during lockdown. I can't go to the movies. Disney served as the lifeline for the entire company, which had its theme park closed and cruise ships grounded. A year after the launch, Disney announced that it had over 94.9 million subscribers. It beat its 4-year goal in just 14 months. As an economic engine, Disney Plus did what it was supposed to do. But creatively, it would sap the company's brand of their singular oomph. A galaxy far, far away, The Mandalorian kicked off. People went crazy for Jon Favreau's lone gunslinger, and in particular, its diminutive sidekick, who people quickly referred to as Baby Yoda. It arrived a month before the ninth film in the Star Wars film saga, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, hit theaters in its first week and racked up 791 minutes watched, according to Nielsen. The early success opened the floodgates for multiple Star Wars-centered projects a year. When you went on to Star Wars movie, it used to be special, said a marketing executive from a rival studio. But there's a difference between let's have a movie every 4 years versus let's have 3 shows on the air all at the time and have a movie every year. A year after the premiere of The Mandalorian, during the Investors Day event, the company unveiled the host of Star Wars related content coming to Disney Plus, much of which 10 years later has yet to materialize. So they can't even get Star Wars off the ground on Disney Plus anyway. They can't even get Star Wars off the ground over there. But the point, Disney was in a groove. The Mandalorian had just returned 2 months before the event, and the first week of season 2 saw 1 billion watched. The show averaged more than 1 billion minutes watched every week through the rest of the year and peaked in the week of its season finale of 1.34 billion minutes. Then came the first red flag. The Book of Boba Fett debuted a year after that. At first glance, the show's premise of fleshing out a fan favorite character seemed like a surefire hit, but its uneven story and mixed pacing turned off viewers, and despite the reemergence of The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda towards the end, it rankled 885 million minutes watched in its final week. A good number, but nowhere near the heights of Mandalorian. So they was on the downtrend. Subsequent series like Obi-Wan Kenobi would start off strong before tapering. Obi-Wan will kick off a trend that the other 2 Star Wars shows would follow. Views would fall week to week, suggesting flagging interest. Ahsoka started at 829 million views in the first week, with views falling by 31%. Likewise, The Acolyte, all of these. Skeleton Crew, a Goonies-like take on Star Wars, featuring a young cast getting into hijinks with space pirates that debuted at the end of 2024, never even made the top 10. They ain't even couldn't even get in there. Couldn't crack it. This whole rest of this passage is just about failure after failure. Andor, they talk about Force Awakens, like all of that, right? Trouble in the MCU. How long is this article? It's a long article. I'm not going to read this whole article. I didn't know it was this long. This is a long, long article. Long, long article. Pixar. So, let's look at this viewership. MCU Disney Plus viewership. WandaVision didn't. So see, they making it seem like these MCU shows was killing it. WandaVision did not crack 1 billion. Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't crack 1 billion. Loki season 1 barely cracked 1 billion. Moon Knight didn't crack, and it just got worse. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, didn't even crack 500 million. Secret Invasion didn't crack 500 million. Agatha All Along, it got up to close to 750. Ironheart got over 500. These shows ain't this. Disney Plus is a failure. It's a failure. And it's because I don't even want to attribute it to too much content being on it. It's because of how it was ran. It wasn't just it was too much content. Because you could have put, if you go back and you watch cable, it's a lot of fluff on stuff, but you don't have any standout series. Nothing was like, let me give tender love and care to this series. Loki, what is the only one that got another season 2? And I guess because it cracked a billion, like make these shows like, and that was another critique. They they don't treat these shows like TV shows. They treat them like short movies or movies that's been broken up in the part. That's not how people watch TV. That's not how people watch TV. What else we got? Pixar problem. MCU got a problem. Let's talk to survivors. Not every Disney brand has taken a hit. Disney's live action slate has been largely unaffected thanks to a combination of approaches. The services used to have a robust lineup of original movies, from a live action Lady and the Tramp to Hocus Pocus 2. Some even drifted off to the 21st century Fox assets like Home Sweet Home alone, but none of these films encroached on any of its brands. If there had been a new live action adaptation of a beloved Disney animated movie appearing regularly on Disney Plus, it might have bitten into that business. But they knew from the beginning that less was more. And after a while, Disney decided to simply remove most of the movies from Disney Plus entirely. You can't find the one and only Ivan, co-starring and produced by Angelina Jolie, or sci-fi adventurer Crater, or the charming Timmy Failure. Mistakes were made on the platform. These were big deal titles that Disney touted as being key to their service. Yeah, you can't just have everything there. You can't. As much as Netflix will put a show on and they will take it off, because they want you to come. They want you to want it. If everything is just there for me to watch, then I ain't gonna watch nothing. Then I ain't gonna watch nothing. What's next? Walt Disney Studios used to think projects as brand deposits or brand withdrawals. Brand deposits added to the value of the company's brand, either monetarily or through prestige. These were the projects that embodied Disney, either in their wholesomeness, their entertainment value, or their desire to push things forward, technologically or storytelling wise. Brand withdrawals were projects that actively took away from the Disney brand, either because they didn't fit tonally or it didn't deliver on the Disney promise. The brand withdrawal of Disney Plus is huge. The company seems to be taking the right steps to course correct, chiefly to not put out as much product on the streaming service and to re-emphasize the importance of theatrical, there you go, theatrical exhibition. There are far fewer new things on the service so far this year. There has been a single Disney Plus original film and far fewer Lucasfilm and Marvel Studio projects. These numbers will get even smaller as the streaming service puts its weight behind a handful of projects that hopefully more will enjoy. Now, the crazy thing is, they should have just took their template of terrestrial TV, of traditional TV. Disney did originals on ABC all the time. They did originals on the Disney Channel all the time. Season-based movies all the time. So it's not like that didn't work. Hell, they just said terrestrial TV was bringing in 4.8 million, still bringing in upwards to 4 to 5 million, $5 billion a quarter. Let me take this off the screen. Let me go on my rant as I wrap this up. As I wrap this up. Kevin says Disney Plus is stopping no film from making money at the box office. He would be right if we see that majority of these films aren't making money at the box office. And it ain't just Disney Plus. These streaming services are taking away from making money at the box office. Because why do I need to go see this movie at the box office or the theaters if it's going to be on streaming in 3 months? And Kevin, I don't know how old you are, But the longer you wait, I'm hold on to that movie. Put it on VOD. Let people rent it. That's more money. Physical copies. Make people go and buy it. See, the thing is, these companies have gotten away from that middle portion, from the theater to when it would end up on a HBO or Cinemax back in the day, because they didn't have their own streaming services. So before it would end up on cable TV, there was a whole another revenue stream generated through rentals and through hard copy sales. Now imagine, which would be it's like a whole nother box office. Let's take the Marvel, which they say was one of the greatest flops in modern movie history. Good film, but it flopped. Now there are films that I know from back in the day flop that are cult classics. And they're cult classics because people went and rented them. People went and bought them, or even the boot. You know what? That's another thing too. The bootleg game has left. Bootlegging, I believe, is one of the greatest advertising vehicles in history. The bootleg. I might do a video on that. The bootleg is one of the greatest advertising vehicles in history. I want y'all to think about that. Especially for those who can't see it or didn't go to the movie, stuff like that. But it can't be perfect. See, it's got to be a messed up, but it's got to have somebody walking in front of the camera, a watermark or something. Figure out the way to get these bootlegs out to push. Oh, that's a good movie. So now, when you can afford Disney Plus, you go and you watch that movie. And maybe I sound stupid. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. To me, you don't cut your arm off. You don't cut your perfectly good arm off with cable because you grew another arm. That makes sense? Like if I grew a third arm right now, and that third arm I grow is going to be probably deformed, small. It ain't going to be able to do as much as the arm that I got now. But then I say, you know what? Let me just mangle my good arm. Maybe if I mangle this good arm, my third arm that I grew, it'll grow out and be just as good as this mangled arm. That's basically the concept that they took with streaming. Let me disrupt this revenue over here, so this revenue works. Or avenue, I should say, not revenue. Let me disrupt this avenue over here, so this avenue works. Instead of easing this avenue in and maximizing this avenue over here. It's stupid. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense whatsoever. So yes, will I say it's a curse? I won't say it's a curse. It ain't no curse. It's just stupidity. That's all. It's just stupidity on Disney's part. That's all. Stupidity. Whoever was up there in them C-suites, who was up there making those decisions, it's just stupidity. They couldn't see the future like they thought they could. They couldn't see the future like they thought they could. It's cool. Now they're admitting, hey, we fucked up. They admit we fucked up. Accountability will always be dope to me. Always be dope. So let's get into some of these questions. Did Disney execs prioritize quantity over quality? I would say yeah. But as a business, you do want to push as many products out. And sometimes it does in spite of quality, that does happen. Now you want to mitigate and try to get both even. I want quality and I want quantity pushed out. And that's why I don't think Iger was like, hey, push all of it out, but I don't care about the quality. I don't think that was his wording. That's why I go back and when I blame Feige for the bed that he's in now, I don't blame Iger for saying, hey, make more. That's the nature of business. Make more. Can we make more? Seems like we can make more. Do we have the operating? Do we have the building for more? Is there more storage we can do? Then let's make more. You as the executive, Feige, you as the president now have to figure out how to make more. That is your job. Figuring out how to make more. Without quality, suffering. That is your job. If you worked at a sandwich shop and somebody say, hey, I need, instead of the 10 sandwiches that you normally make a day, I need 15. Them 15 sandwiches better taste and have the same quality as the normal 10 that you have. And when I see that you can do the 15 and I come in and say, hey, I need 20, those 20 better be the same as the first 10. And if they not, you come to me and you say, hey, we need to hire extra people because the quality is going down. Can I get extra people here? Can I get extra people over there? That way we can because if I'm pushing out more, that means more money is coming. That, hey, let's take some of that money, put it over here to get more product out or better product out. Did that happen? We didn't see it. Are fans burned out by endless streaming releases? I don't think fans, honestly, I don't think fans get burnt out. I think if they get bit in the ass too many times, they quit sitting in the seat. You know what I'm saying? If they get burnt every time, they quit going to a place where they get burnt at. If you were putting out quality, sure, it'll work. You putting out quality. So is this decline self-inflicted or just franchise fatigue? It is self-inflicted. This is self-inflicted. This is people can't see the forest for the trees. I got a perfectly good system over here with cable, but I'm going to go the way of streaming. Not only that, it's like nobody took into account, oh, we only look good because of COVID. Not one person said, hey, oh no, let's wait another year or let's see what it looks like when everybody is back out and moving. Did they just think everybody was going to be in the house for 4, 5, 6 years? Was that the thought process? Because if it was, that's stupid. And why would you condition your audience to want to watch everything on Disney Plus or streaming service anyway, while still putting movies into the theater? Why would you? And that's what I mean. Just so stupid. This is self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. Yes, I want to meet my audience where they are. But I also don't want my audience to be lazy. Because yes, we are a lazy audience. We know that movie ain't staying in theaters. Let me see. I'm gonna just pick a year from. I'm gonna go 1990, and I know it's 20 years removed from that, but hell, 40 years, 30 years removed from 1990. So I'm gonna go 1995, 30 years ago. How long did it take for a movie to go from theaters to cable TV? Because I was gonna say how long it took for it to go from movies to rent, but I'm gonna go to cable TV because that's what streaming is like another arm of cable TV. So let's see what it says. Let's see. 1995, the time it took for a movie to go from theatrical release to cable TV was typically a multi-step process. Like I said, often taking a significant amount of time. First, films will have a theatrical release, which was historically involved a 90-day window or longer, which is, I think, all movies should just sit 3 months. Make as much money as you can in 3 months. After that theatrical run, there was usually a period before the film was released on home video, which could be anywhere from a few months to even a year or more for some blockbusters. This time frame was largely influenced by the desire to maximize revenue from. They just saying the same thing that I'm saying. Maximize revenue. Said it wouldn't even get. It would stay after the theatrical run. There was usually a period before the film was released on home video. So even before it got to home video, which could be anywhere from a few months to even a year or more for some blockbusters. So before it even got to VOD in today's age, I would say VOD, right? Or being able to go to Target and buy the movie, it would even be a few months to even to up to a year. Imagine you go see Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park stays in theaters for 90 days. So 3 months, you go see it that first month. 2 months after that, it's still in theaters. It comes out of theater, right? You want to go and either purchase a copy or go rent. It won't happen for another year. And we were conditioned for that. And I'm not saying that year at working today, but y'all got to figure out what the time period would work to maximize. Following the theatrical and home video windows, films would then become available on paid television like HBO or Showtime. So that would be the VOD, paid television. The time between the theatrical release and the paid television premiere could vary, but typically was many months, often around 6 months or longer after the initial theatrical release. So after it got out of theaters, 6 months after that, it'd go to HBO Cinemax. 9 months later, you can be watching this movie at home. 9 months, you can be watching this movie at home. Finally, after appearing on paid television, movies would eventually be shown on free-to-air television, which was network television, which would take even longer, potentially years after the initial theatrical release. So, in essence, movie enthusiasts in 1995 had to be patient as the journey from the big screen to watching a film on cable TV, especially non-pay channels, was a lengthy one, involving a series of strategically timed release windows designed to optimize revenue for the studio. The rise of home video in the 90s did begin to shorten these windows, especially for the home video release, but the progression to various TV outlets still took a considerable amount of time. That's all I'm saying. Don't just go throwing your stuff on streaming. Make me have a reason to want, you know what I'm saying? Like fear of missing out. Make the FOMO real. You're not making it real. You making me know that I know that it's gonna be there. Yeah. Why would I pay to go to the movie theaters when in 30 days, 60 days, it's showing up on my app in the comfort of my own home on my 80-inch, 85-inch TV? I got my snacks, my food, my drink. I got my lady right here, all for the price of subscription. Now, a lot of people look at it like it's free. That's another thing. They thinking you've conditioned the customers to think that they are now, instead of paying to watch it, that they will watch it for free at home. And that ain't good. That is not good. So I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Do y'all think Disney Plus hurt and tarnished these brands because of the sheer volume that they wanted to put out? Or do you think that they just made the mistake of just doing Disney Plus the way they did it anyway? Because that's what I believe. I believe them making Disney Plus ultimately destroyed the brands that they wanted to push. Because it's not giving people time to miss said thing. So let me shout out everybody in the chat. Everybody in the cheese ass. Shout y'all out, man. I appreciate y'all showing up, man. Replay gang, I know y'all in the building. Hey, if y'all in the chat, give me some likes. Give me some likes. No, it's only a couple of y'all, but that's all right. Don't matter. I started late, so I know that. I know what's up. Junior in the building. What's up, Junior? Lawrence is in the building. Ty is in the building. Lawrence say no one left to blame. That's true. I know it. Feige. He can't point over there. Victoria Alonso. He can't do that. It's on him now. It is on him now. So Lawrence say they're in the DCEU second phase where they were after Justice League. Okay. Disney Plus was a last minute lifeline, but it hurt their businesses, but also businesses practices hurt them. Right. Right. This is spot on. Business practices hurt them. Businesses practices hurt them. All for the love of streaming. You did that. Nope. Nope. They killed blockbusters and are going for the cinema. Talking about Netflix. Yeah. You know what, Lawrence is crazy. Netflix was first to market. True. But normally the first things to market don't survive because it's always somebody who sees that and does it better. Normally, that's how it goes. Normally, that first to market people, they don't make it. They have a nice run, and somebody comes in and usurps their title. He said YouTube is getting the most views, and they're about to mess it up with this ID. Yeah, I know, right? Already said that. Said they were gatekeeping you to have to put it on other services to make money. It's easy now because streaming good copies and digital release. True, true. Gatekeeping. Who you saying gatekeeping? You're saying the cable networks were gatekeeping? I think, and how I'm reading your comment, I don't have an issue with the gate if ultimately it's making the product more money, then I don't mind. Oh, Disney doing the gatekeeping? But money is to be made. back in the day, Warner Brothers put it on whatever. It didn't just end up on TNT, right? CBS could be playing a Warner Brothers film. NBC could be playing a Fox film. Pay them. The thing is, like I say, they turn to these tech companies, and nope, it ain't working. They thought Disney Plus was the Disney Vault. Right. They didn't treat it like the Disney Vault. I should not have the keys to the Disney Vault. You get what I'm saying, Lawrence? I should not have the keys to the Disney Vault. I should not be able to go to Disney Plus and just pull up Lady and the Tramp and watch it. One thing that I like that they did during the pandemic is they made you pay to watch these movies that was in theaters. I think they should go back to that. You want to watch Captain America Brave New World? It is a $10 charge here on Disney Plus. If you want to watch anything that just came out of the cinema, it is a charge. That's another revenue stream for that property. Especially if I'm trying to Captain America Brave New World didn't make the money that they thought it would make. Now imagine when I put it on streaming and it now has a $10 price tag on it. $10 price tag. You want to watch this. Or you're going to have to wait. I'll put the disclaimer on there. $10 price tag or you got to wait. Yes, put it behind a paywall. It's okay. They used to get people to buy DVD sets, not stores did not want to sell them, and they cut that because they didn't want to pay Sony for the disc. Yeah, Sony. Yeah. Other players got involved though, but I said you talk about like Blu-ray because Sony was the is the I think sole proprietor of Blu-ray. So yeah, you're right. You're right. It's just shady, man. It's just shady. It's just shady. I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Like I said, I appreciate Lawrence, I appreciate Junior, I appreciate Ty, I appreciate all of that, man. I need to do something for my fans who show up, you know, for the house gang that show up every day. And I know I was late, but 8 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be doing something else. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. So 8 o'clock tomorrow, y'all be on the lookout for Blues News. 8 o'clock tomorrow, more culturally inviting pieces that I will be doing. And I'm gonna try to make the aesthetics. I'm working on some stuff to make this a little bit more fun. All right. Need to make this a little bit more fun. I know y'all like he just talking, y'all. I'm gonna try to make this as much fun as possible. Get some laughs, get some jokes going. Cause I ain't boring by the least, but I know this can come out boring. So I gotta break the monotony, and I'm gonna figure out how to break the monotony, and we're gonna have some fun, man. We're gonna have a good time. So yeah, man. Uh, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Take it easy, be safe, in the immortal words of the homie Kobe. Peace. We out.